Okay, so we just heard a story about how to manage growth and scale. You pick the right tools, you define some standards, build the right dashboards, and then make connections across the organization. You put your engineers in a position to focus on the most essential tasks and then let them do it. But now let's turn the conversation in a different direction, where test helps us answer the biggest question. Is it even possible? And if it is, how do we bring it to market quickly and safely? So quick show of hands, does anyone here actually enjoy sitting in traffic? Maybe in the rain too? Ever wish you could just literally fly above it all? Our next guest is working to make that a reality and would like us to enjoy the journey as much as the destination. So please welcome to the stage from Archer Aviation, Dr. Tramone Curry. Good morning, Tramone.
Morning.
All right, give us a quick intro to Archer Aviation.
Absolutely. But first, howdy, y'all. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Archer is developing the technologies and the aircraft necessary to power the future of aviation. Our goal is to unlock the skies, that's the trademark, by reimagining how we live and spend our time. Archer is focused on delivering what the future of air travel can be, safe and sustainable, with low noise pollution. We are quite literally and figuratively going to take urban mobility to the next plane. Did you see what I did there?
Absolutely.
Smart guy here. The wish that you mentioned earlier about flying over traffic is being realized with our first aircraft, the Midnight. A fully electric, vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL, aircraft designed to conduct back-to-back rapid flights within a 50 to 60-mile radius, carrying up to 4 passengers with minimal charge time in between.
Okay, this is a very compelling vision, really not an easy task. You got a new airframe, new powertrain, probably any number of new testing challenges that you and the team have to sort through. And I know you've got some competition also working on this, so you got to get these challenges figured out and some market pressure. What's been your approach?
Well, this is true. We have been working to meet some very aggressive schedule milestones to certify Midnight's flight readiness, while also balancing our top priorities of safety and reliability. Now, this introduces a complex set of obstacles. The challenge is to integrate and test new aviation technologies in a new design and system architecture. The challenge is to test these systems in a manner that's representative of real scenarios environments. The challenge is to gain a high level of confidence in these systems' functionality, to exercise the limits under all conditions that the aircraft might face, both normal and abnormal. Effectively, the challenge is to execute thousands of hours of testing before the aircraft is actually piloted. But it's only through this level of rigor are we able to achieve our priorities of safety and reliability. So, we've set out to build the most robust and effective hardware-in-the-loop, or HIL, simulation labs to facilitate these ambitious goals.
Yeah, and of course that's the strategy we often see, whether it's aerospace or automotive. We heard about it yesterday in appliances. Wherever there is significant amount of embedded software and then lots of scenario possibilities. You use HIL to get it right in the lab before you go on a road or a flight test. So how is this being manifest for the Midnight program?
Well, to fully exercise our flight hardware and software under thousands of conditions, we needed a sophisticated real-time platform that is both robust and flexible to accommodate the range of test coverage that we require. In our labs, we connect our aircraft systems, such as our flight controls computer, exactly how you would in the actual aircraft. The NI platform allows us to then take our high-fidelity flight dynamics model and act as sort of a wrapper to make our labs flyable. In fact, we can even use the NI products to replace or simulate components as we fly. So this allows the engineers, as well as the pilots, to execute ground and flight scenarios that are required for system maturation all the way through our certification process. NI, LabVIEW, Veristand, PXI, and SLSC are at the core of all of our test systems across our Midnight program.
Okay, well, I love hearing that you're using so much of our platform, but I'm curious, like, what made it the right choice for you in this scenario?
I would say the biggest advantages that we get with NI products are flexibility and velocity. NI's platform allowed my team to design the exact test capabilities that were needed for each system and each lab. That way, we aren't restricted by a fixed functionality of platform. We can make or add features that we need to make adjustments to the somewhat ever-changing requirements as they get updated. We can also procure these parts with very low lead times, which is exceptional. And on top of all of that, our engineers can use the tools that they're already familiar with for scripting, modeling, test code development, such as Python or Simulink.
Okay, so first shout out to NI's operations team for the low lead time comment there.
Absolutely.
You guys are obviously doing really good work. But I'll also kind of second some of what you said there. In a fast changing market like this, you really need that open approach to software and hardware for HIL, because you're going to iterate. Things are going to change. You don't want a turnkey solution vendor that's going to slow you down. But I'm sure this must have taken a lot of time and resources to put together, right?
You would think so. True story. When I arrived at Archer about 2.5 years ago, my team had a different solution for a real-time platform. I simply said to the team, if you want to do this quicker and at a lower cost, you must consider NI. And that's exactly what we did. My team went through this whole process from design, integrating and deploying up to 6 component HILs within a 3 to 4 month time. And we were able to do 3 fully integrated labs within 12 to 18 months. So that's months, or maybe even years, faster than a traditional aerospace program. And we were able to do this at roughly 30% reduced cost than we would have for some of the other test vendors. At this point, we're operating 11 HIL benches, 5 integrated labs, which includes our aircraft Ironbird and certification lab, all with NI systems powering them behind.
Yeah, and this is super impressive. It gives you an idea of the scale of the challenge to be able to really evaluate an aircraft like this and make it safe. We're seeing some video, of course, of the aircraft flying here. I think we're probably all asking the question, when are we going to get to fly in one of these? What's up next for the Midnight program?
I will say first, soon.
Okay.
I'll also say that we haven't been doing too much. We've only completed 400 test flights, including our lab testing. We'll next be continuing to advance our flight test program into the final phases of FAA flight certification or type certification, while also delivering our first aircraft to our partners in the UAE to start the early commercial operations internationally. Now, I should also add that Archer has a lot of great partners that are collaborating with us, such as United Airlines, who has put in a future order for a fleet of Midnight valued at around $1.5 billion with a B dollars, as well as Stellantis, who is also supporting our scale manufacturing efforts. We also have relationships with Southwest Airlines, Japan Airlines, Ethiopian Airlines, and FBO operators such as Signature and Atlantic Aviation. And lastly, as if that wasn't enough, we have an arm of the company that is focused on defense applications, and we've partnered with Anduril to develop hybrid VTOL military aircraft. So we're on a pretty modest but incredible journey. We have some of the most talented engineering teams in the world, but I would have to personally say that we would not have reached some of our goals and the ones that are on the horizon for Midnight without NI and the NI family. So I think it's appropriate that I say thank you to the NI team.
Awesome. Well, I'll just say it's been an honor partnering with you on this, and I also think it's pretty safe to say we're all rooting for your success. I mean, this is an inspiration for everyone in the audience to see how this kind of bold vision, new technologies, and using the power of test is really helping advance the state of the art quickly. So it's very, very cool stuff. Well, how about good luck reinventing air travel?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you
so much.